Hi, this is an HD video test for the GladTrad podcast. I'm Rodolfo Carlos, otherwise known as Rudy. I'm here doing this solo, as Jordan's out doing something else with Jen, but that's okay. I want to thank you for being here today. Welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be talking about how Jordan steals Rocket League goals. He does this consistently. He says he's not doing it on purpose, but when it happens more than once per night, I think there's something I think there's something there. And I want to explore that today. But first, we have to thank our sponsor, Anthony Garcia, aka the Nethead CPA. I don't know if you remember this movie. It's an old gangster movie. I forgot what it's called. But anyway, it's this teacher that calls himself El Ciclone.
I'm El Cyclone from Bolivia. One man gang. This is my domain. Don't give me no gas. I'll jump on your face, tattoo your chromosomes.
Goes into class and he starts talking to all of the Mexican kids about how they'll never amount to anything if they never learn anything to apply themselves. And so he starts teaching them mathematics. And sure enough, they become a success, specifically our friend Anthony. And if you're looking at your W-2 this year and you're thinking, oh man, I really have to file this time, or you're just confused and you don't know what to do, give our friend Anthony CPA a call. He's going to take care of you. Now, back to the subject of Rocket League. Rocket League is a video game that is created by a company called Psyonix. And the premise of the game is that you are driving around in a car and you're hitting a ball, kind of like soccer. But instead of soccer, it's soccer. Get it? Because you're in a car. You're in a car bouncing a ball all over the map in a giant. How do you say this? I'm not really a big sports guy. You're driving a car around a giant stadium, and it seems to be like it's made out of AstroTurf. But you're driving around, sometimes 60, 120 miles per hour, and you're hitting a ball that has pretty good dynamics and physics, sometimes not so good physics. And you're hitting this ball all over the stadium, trying to get it into the goal area. Last night, Jordan and I and our friend Anthony CPA, we were playing Rockets, and much to my wife's chagrin, and we ran into a clan, and this clan had a name something like our Lord Jesus from the Bible or something like that. So we thought they were fellow Christians, and once we sort of had that idea, we decided we really wanted to win because they seemed to be like Protestants. So we kept playing, and then Jordan pointed out that one of their one of the teams that he had seen, one of the teammates that he had seen on the opposite team had a call tag of a cult. So it became apparent to us that they were not Catholic, they were not Christian. They were, in fact, being quite rude and mocking the faith. And so we knew right then and there it became very personal and we had to win the game. We just had to. So we start chanting the Ave Maria, and we are just completely demolishing this team, really embarrassing them, and told them that they should submit themselves to the pontiff, the supreme pontiff. He said, what? Kept heckling them a little bit, trying to get them to crack a little bit. And they asked me something very interesting. They asked, if God is real, why is there cancer? And he says, why? Because you can't type in Holocaust into the chat. He said, why hollow space cost? And I realized at that moment that Bishop Barron was right. We are called to go out into the public space. and defend Holy Mother Church. I mean, it may differ a little bit from the context that he had, but certainly that is the case when we are confirmed. So we went out there, we had our call tag, which is Pope, and our clan name is Vatican II was a mistake. And we're out there evangelizing these guys. And when he asked me, why is there the Holocaust and why is there cancer and how could there be a God because of these two evils in the world, I knew exactly what I had to tell him. I told him Aquinas on the problem of evil. And in that moment, I was able to share with this man or boy, I don't know, some information that could possibly, maybe, by the grace of God, evangelize him. And atheists, heretics, all of these things, they've already come out of the woodwork years ago. I mean, you see today rehashings of all kinds of heresies that have been dealt with in the past, and and even still, most people don't know about the answers or the refutations of such a great saint, such as Saint Thomas Aquinas. So I was able to share in that moment some information for him to understand that we live in a world where there are evils. There's the natural evil and there's moral evil. And God allows these evils to exist in our reality to bring about some sort of good out of them. There has to be a reason why we suffer. And in a sort of situation like this, I wouldn't bring up that there's redemptive suffering because most people don't understand that. And you wouldn't say that to someone who's dying on a sick bed or anything like that, right? Or rather, you would want to hopefully convert them at the end. But you wouldn't exactly say this to somebody who just lost their grandmother, right? Like they're not really going to understand. So you have to discern how much information to give at a certain time. But anyway, Bishop Barron was right. I had to go out into the world and defend the faith. But it's not just Bishop Barron's ideal or the context of his speaking about whether or not we should be out there defending statues. This mission has been given to us because of our baptism. Silly me, because of our confirmation. In the traditional rite, confirmation looks a little different. The ceremony is a lot more reverent, but at the end of the confirmation, after the bishop lays his hands upon the confirmandi, he gives them a light slap on the face. And that slap on the face is supposed to remind them that life is going to be hard and that this mission is going to be a really difficult one and that possibly they're going to have to be a martyr. Whether or not they're a white martyr or a red martyr, that's up to God. And God hopefully will give them the strength and the grace that they need to live out that calling, that great calling. That calling that you and I and all of our Catholic brethren have been called to. Thanks for watching. This has been Glad Trads Presents, and God bless you and Mary keep you. By the way, drop a like on this video, subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends. And if you want to play some video games, let's play some video games. Let's get some video. I know Mr. Dr. Taylor Marshall, he doesn't like video games. He criticizes us for playing video games. And maybe he's got a point. Sometimes we can take it to an excess, all right? But, it's one of those things, the older generation, they don't like video games. But if you ever criticize sports, forget about it. It's game over for them. It's a little bit similar to us. He likes sports, I like video. We spend our recreational time differently. That's okay. But if you'd like to play with us, go ahead and let us know. I play on PlayStation. We play cross-play games all the time. If you have Rocket League, we would love to play with you. We'd love to get some rockets in. And maybe get a 4v4 game going. And guess what? Maybe, if we get some really good mid-plays, get some huge moves. We'll see at the end the great winning screen that says Vatican II was a mistake. And as our great president, Emperor Donald Trump, said, Vatican II was a mistake, and we have to look into it, folks. We have to look into it. God bless you, and Mary keep you. Thanks for tuning in. This has been an HD test of the Glad Trad podcast.